In one of my recent YouTube videos, a poster posted an objection to Catholicism that I thought was worth exploring. And their objection was that they didn't believe in a God who would condemn somebody to hell simply because they weren't part of the Catholic Church. Now, what the poster didn't realize is that this belief is in fact in accord with the teachings of the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church does not say that God is condemning everyone to hell who is not a member of the Catholic Church while here on earth. There is this saying, no salvation outside the church, but that saying has to be properly understood. And what the church understands by that saying is that there's no salvation for somebody who understands what the church is and chooses not to be part of the church. In other words, somebody who understands that the church is the fullness of truth and the body of Christ and still says, I want nothing to do with that. There's no means of salvation for such a person, but that's because they are rejecting that relationship with Christ himself. But another poster commented and said, well, if somebody can be saved who is not part of the Catholic Church, why am I spending my time being Catholic? Why not just become another religion or something like that, or do something that's easier, perhaps? And the answer is this: our faith is not utilitarian. In other words, we don't enter into a relationship with God because we want to get something out of this relationship. See, that would be using God. And that's not what we're called to do. As Catholics, we're called to love God. As Christians, we're called to love God. And to love God means that we want to have a relationship with God that's as honest and true as possible. We want that authentic relationship with God. And that authentic relationship with God can be found in its fullness in the Catholic Church. So what the Catholic Church teaches is that the fullness of truth resides in the Catholic Church. And because the fullness of truth resides in the Catholic Church, for those who are seeking as authentic of a relationship as possible, as true of a relationship as possible with God, they're going to find that in the Catholic Church. And that is the point of being Catholic. Not because I can get something out of it, but because I can enter more deeply into this relationship with God, that I can enter the fullness of his presence, that I can be in his presence in front of the Eucharist, that I can take him into my body. These are all elements of that fullness of truth that we have in the Catholic Church. And because of that, that's why we become Catholic, not because I can get something from God if I become Catholic.